The Random Show. Inside knowledge of TV, pop culture, and game shows. With your host, executive producer of Let's Make a Deal and The Price is Right, Mike Richards. Joined by the shortest moral compass on podcasts, Beth Triffin. And now, The Random Show.
Welcome to The Random Show. Here we are. We are without the youngster named Beth Triffin, Jen Bisgrove, the producer of the podcast, filling in, and ably, I would say.
You think so? I didn't have my,
No, but here's the thing. I have devised an amazing piece of technology to... I don't think anyone will miss Beth because I have a sound effects pad. So where Beth is the one that always goes... Aww. I now have that.
Perfect.
Wait, do you love it? Yeah, it's annoying. I'm like a 5-year-old with it, but we have a fantastic podcast for you, not set up to demonstrate all the wonderful things that my iPad sound effect machine can do, but to talk about a show called The Price is Right. You've heard of it.
Yeah, once or twice.
We're going to have Nicole Jacks on, who is a college student who won on the episode that airs this week, Wednesday, that Polly Perrette was a guest star on and presented a showcase, an NCIS flavored showcase that was very cool. And she's a longtime friend of Drew Carey's. She played his girlfriend on the Drew Carey show. Which
I totally forgot until she was on and then jogged my memory.
And then did you remember her on the Drew Carey show originally? Were you a fan of the Drew Carey show?
I was originally, yeah. And I didn't put it together until he says it on the episode.
What year was that? Because she had to have been like 11 years old. She had to have been pretty young. So anyway, we'll talk to Nicole about the amazing prizes she won, which included also an NCIS experience, which meant she went to the set and got to hang out with, Polly, I'm assuming, a youngster named Mark Harmon, who I really only know from summer school. Do you think she cracked a beer? No? All right.
This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to the podcast. And then live, but not in person, from Ohio, we will call Beth for the Beth Story Ever Told. We haven't had one in a couple of weeks.
No, we haven't.
And there's been an outcry. To be honest, no one's actually said anything at all. So I thought we would go through to start the podcast, though, instead of a boring story about what I did over the weekend or something like that, or a story about how much beer you drank over the weekend.
Oh.
All right, I'm done. I promise I won't do this the whole time. I thought we'd talk about some of the big... This has been an interesting summer for Price is Right and Let's Make a Deal. A lot of changes have happened. It feels like it's been the busiest summer I can remember as far as the two shows and how much has gone on. Subtle, though they'll be on camera, we've done a lot. We talked about it before on Let's Make a Deal with Chris and Graham, the supervising producers, about the new set and what that's going to look like. And I'm very excited. I'm not allowed to show pictures of the new set yet, but I'm very excited when I am allowed to because Sean Motley, who does is our production designer, built this amazing mock-up of the set. Like remember the physical thing that we took to the offsite? Really cool, yeah. And frankly, it makes me want to play Let's Make a Deal the home game. It's amazing. It's all to scale, and it's using like foam core, and like it's like the coolest art project you've ever seen. So I'll be able to twit out some pictures of that, which I'm very excited about. And on the Price is Right side, we've talked about it a little bit because I was so nervous about it, but we put the new floor, which I think was long overdue, on home base. We got rid of the carpet. So far, the pictures that have been put out, we put those out on Buzzer Blog, gave them the exclusive, and I think people like it so far.
It looks amazing.
You really like it.
I love it.
Because you're hesitant about my ability to pick things.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I think that's turned out really well. The new podiums, I think, look fantastic. They have a new graphic interface in them, and I was just reviewing Nicole Jacks', who we're going to talk to in a second, reviewing her tape. Did I just...
I like talking to you.
Come on. So reviewing that, I noticed that, I really don't like the old graphics that we used on the podiums, and the new ones look so much nicer. And then we're working on something, and you've seen these, Jennifer Bisgrove, Esquire III, the new graphics package, which will be, if approved, not seen by CBS yet, seen by the good people at Fremantle, but not seen by the folks at CBS yet, but soon. what we are proposing as the new graphics package, which would include what the worst word in the English language, which is the mortise that goes around the come on downs, where the flashing lights usually are. Originally on Price is Right, those were literal lights, and they shot it through something.
Really?
Yeah, they were physical lights. And then at some point they became not physical lights, and they became digital, and then I'm not sure that they didn't look worse digital, and then we tried no mortise. And anyway, so we have a new one by a really cool graphics company, and I'm excited for CBS to see it, and then hopefully, if it makes it to air, I'm excited for everyone to see it, the millions of Price fans.
I like it a lot.
You do?
I do. It looks modern and...
It looks modern, but still Price is Right-y.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, which is obviously important whenever we're doing stuff like that. And then the only other news of the day was that yesterday my actual Emmy showed up. It's sitting right here next to me. Look. That it is, right there next to me. It's in a big leather box because the night of the Emmys, they don't actually give you your Emmy. They give you an Emmy, but your name's not engraved on it. Nothing about it says it's yours. So being the team player I am, I took it home with me.
Right.
And it has nothing on it, but my actual physical one came. I haven't unwrapped it yet. I did look to see that they spelled my name right.
I was so worried. Oh, my God, I was so worried.
Because Vanessa, the prize producer on The Price is Right, was sent an Emmy, and the engraving was to, it was 2012.
Somebody for Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, which is a sports show.
Right.
It's sports audio.
She got a sports audio Emmy.
Which I told her she should keep. And then get one of hers, because who has a sports Emmy and best game show, outstanding game show Emmy? So that was exciting. I haven't even unwrapped it. I'm going to take it home. I'm gonna open a nice bottle of wine
and stare at it.
And I'm going to take it out of its case and put it.
Where are you going to put it?
I don't know. I don't have a mantle. It feels like that's the place, but then a mantle seems a little showy. I think we're just going to put it in one of our
bathroom.
That's where Ryan Polito, who won for director on Price, that's where he put his. He put toilet rolls on the wings, and he's using it that way, which I think isn't the best.
I've heard from many celebrities that they put it there in the bathroom.
That's weird to me. Yeah. We'll put it up somewhere, but where it won't be the center of attention. Like, you're not going to walk in the house and go, oh, geez, this guy.
Yeah.
Because I knew a guy that won an Emmy for writing on the Kinnear Talk Soup show, which no one won an Emmy for a cable show back then. And that was like the little engine that could. And he actually had like a special place carved into his house to put it, like, so it had its own light and had its own thing. And it was right over the center of the fireplace. And to me, that was a little far. Mm-hmm. Although it is pretty cool. But
what if you get more and then...
I don't think he was worried about that.
Got it.
I, on the other hand, am.
Right.
Very worried.
You got to keep your options open.
You got to have
expansion.
space to grow.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the excitement. I think now let's get to Nicole Jacks, who won. Well, what did she win? Over $41,000. So let's get her on the phone now. So here she is, all the way from South Dakota State University. Nicole Jacks, welcome to the Random Show. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Well, as I always say when people who have won on Price is Right or Let's Make a Deal ask me that, I always say I'm not as good as you because I did not win a 2013 Dodge Charger within the last few months. So I'm not as good as you, but I'm well. Thank you for asking. So walk me through how you ended up, because you have one of the most, I think, the coolest stories of how you ended up even coming to a taping of Price is Right, because you were actually here on a school trip exploring the amazing California dairy process, correct?
Exactly. Yep. I went to California with the South Dakota State University Dairy Club, and
there's a dairy club. Wait.
Yep, the dairy club.
There's a dairy club, and now to people that live in cities, that might sound like a funny thing that there's a dairy club, but this is actually one of your majors, right?
Yes, it is. What I plan to do after graduation is go into the field with doing things after the milk leaves the farm.
What does that mean?
I worked at Kemp's Ice Cream this summer. That's in Rochester, Minnesota. And that's a pretty big brand of ice cream around the Midwest. And so I really enjoyed working with ice cream. And
Me
so
too.
I think that specifically that's what I want to go into is ice cream. So
you know what?
whether it's
If I could pick something to go into that wasn't game shows, I think it might be ice cream. That's the only sweets I like. So bless you
and
and
every
your work.
day we got to taste the ice cream, so that wasn't too bad either.
See? You're doing the Lord's work. I love it.
I'm questioning my life choices.
Yeah. Jen Bisgrove is sitting in a dark room with me doing a podcast, and you taste ice cream, and that's what you're going to do for a living. I think you're winning on all levels right now. So you were out here with...
I'm winning too.
You were out here with a dairy club, which I love. And what were you doing?
We were touring the bigger dairy farms in California, and then we went to a few manufacturing facilities. We went to Hillmart Cheese, and we went to Land O'Lakes, I think, facility as well.
Cool. And then how long were you in town, and how did you guys end up at Price?
Well, we were there, I think, a total of a week. We went in January, and then we ended up in Los Angeles the last 2 days of our trip. And growing up, we had all watched The Price is Right, and so someone piped up and decided, hey, let's get tickets for The Price is Right. And
that's
so
awesome.
We all said, yeah, that's a great idea. And so we got tickets for, the episode of The Price is Right, not knowing that it was going to be such a special episode with Polly Perrette from NCIS or anything like that. And so, not even thinking that anyone would get up on stage.
And so were you a fan? Are you a fan of NCIS? You knew who Polly was and you were excited to see her and see that it was a special episode?
I actually had no idea who she was.
Perfect.
When she came on stage, everyone started screaming, and I was like, everyone's screaming, so you're probably famous, so I'm going to scream too.
All right. That's awesome. Way to be a follower. That's the only time in your life that'll be okay to be a follower. So you went crazy.
I'm on TV. I can't just not, be loud,
Exactly.
So.
Okay, so then you get picked. And did you win? Oh, you played Grand Game and you did not win.
Yeah, I got out on the lotion, I think.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Dang, that lotion.
Lotion.
It's always more than you think it's going to be.
Lotion. Of all things, lotion.
Well, it makes you look at the price of... that is one of the things, and maybe someday I'll write a book of the things that I've learned at Price is Right, but that's probably the top 6 things that I've learned, is that lotion is more expensive than you think. Pain relief in any form is incredibly expensive. And what's frightening is how expensive the Gorton's fish sticks are, because they seem like if it's really fish and they fished for it, then it should be more than, like $1.89, but it's not.
Yep.
Wait, I just dictated my entire book on what I've learned at The Price is Right.
I took notes.
Thank you. Okay, so then you played Grand Game. That didn't go great. You won a 55-inch 3D HD TV, which I'm told you took cash in lieu for.
Yes, because I don't think they wanted to ship it, which I understand is kind of hard to ship a huge TV. So.
But would you have wanted it? I mean, did you want the TV or did you prefer the money?
I think at that point I would have preferred the money, just because that big of a TV wouldn't have fit in my dorm room.
That would be so. But see, Nicole, this is where you and I are so different, because I would have retrofitted my dorm room to fit. I would have taken out my closet and just left my clothes on the floor and hung a 55-inch TV that clearly would have been the size of the room. But but I may be showier than you.
But then everyone would have been in my room, and it's like 102 degrees in South Dakota right now. And
that's fair.
So I think at this point, it wouldn't have been a great idea to have a huge TV in here that a bunch of kids would have come in and started watching with me.
So you're antisocial too. We're going to get along fine. We're going to get along just fine. Okay, so you get the cash in lieu, and then what did you spin on the wheel to get you to the showcase against Zachariah?
I spun 85 cents, I think.
Nice. And then so you ended up in the showcase. It's you and Zachariah, 2 very good showcase. Both of you had very cool cars. I think he went for a Camaro, and you went for a 2013 Dodge Charger. Couple things. Zachariah had kind of an amazing mustache. Was that in any way intimidating when you were on stage?
That was super intimidating. That's probably the coolest mustache I've ever seen in my life.
It's a very hipster. It was very thick. He looked like a carnival barker a little bit.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. And I'm slightly afraid of carnival carnies.
Me too.
So.
Me too. Yeah, it's that hipster. Like he looks like he's a bartender. What do they call that? A mixologist.
Yeah, and he lives in Silver Lake.
And he lives in exactly. So he lives in Silver Lake, and he was throwing you off your game with his giant mustache that even Tom Selleck would have been jealous of. But you get to bid, and you bid $36,000 on your showcase, which included the NCIS experience, which I'm dying to hear about, where you got 3 nights in a Hollywood hotel, limo for 8 hours. The best part for you, since you didn't know who Polly Perrette was the box set of all 9 NCIS seasons. And then you actually got to go to the set and hang out with him. You got a trip to Washington, D.C., and then a 2013 Dodge Charger. Now, to me, the $36,000, I thought, in watching it, because I'd forgotten the amounts, I was like, ooh, that's high. She may be over. Were you worried that you were over?
Scared. Well, I was talking to some of my friends from South Dakota State. They were helping me out because one of my friends, Maggie Stiles, is also a dairy science major here at South Dakota State. Her mom is an avid fan, and so on the way out to California, she was just like telling us all this stuff about it and, everything like that. And so I was communicating with Maggie when I was up on stage, and she was like, 36,000. I'm like, oh, I don't know, that seems kind of high. I don't know. And so then finally I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to trust Maggie, and I'm going to go with it. So I did 36,000,
now it worked out.
It paid out.
Yeah, now it worked out perfectly. What would you have thrown down dairy style with Maggie if you had been over? What would have gone down? How do people in a dairy club fix things? Is it like a standoff? Is there a milk spitting contest? What happens?
We normally have like a milk off where we see who milks cow the fastest.
Shut the front door.
Loser just goes home.
That is my favorite thing. Is that real? Is that a real thing?
It is a real thing, yes.
Oh, my God. So you won the 2013 Dodge Charger. You're driving it now, right? That's your car.
Well, my parents and I kind of worked out a deal where if I gave them the car, they would pay for my tuition.
Wow.
So I kind of took that deal. So I still get to drive it every now and again, but I let my parents basically do the both driving of it. But it's a pretty cool car.
I'd take that
I
deal.
like to jam out in it.
Yeah, I'd take that deal. That's a really... Now, did you come up with that idea, or did they, or was this like a mutual negotiation?
Well, I figured the value of the car was roughly the value of my education. So I said, how about we do a trade? Because my parents were kind of looking at getting a new car anyway. And so that just happened to work out perfectly.
Wow, that's amazing. This is a great story. I love any cow milking that we can get on the Random Show. I think we're going to make that a regular staple of the show. I have one last question. When you're up there with Zachariah, I've never gotten to ask anyone this question, and that is when you're up at the podiums and he's made his bid and you've made your bid. We go to commercial. We all run off and figure out who won and reset the stage and do all of those things. Is there a feeling of competitiveness towards him? Is there? Did it cross your mind? Gosh, I hope he wins because of that amazing mustache. I mean, just that kind of manscaping is worthy of a showcase win. Are you cheering for him? Are you cheering against him? Do you even know he's there? What's the feeling?
Well, personally, on a scale of 1 to 10 in competitiveness, 1 being lowest and 10 being I will do absolutely anything to win, I'm probably a 10.
Nice.
And so, by nature, I'm very competitive, and so it wasn't necessarily that I wanted to beat Zachariah. I just wanted to win. So I don't know. I'm a pretty competitive person, so I wanted to win really bad.
The last thing for you, the NCIS experience. You flew back out to Los Angeles during spring break and experienced all that it is. What happened there?
So we flew out there, and we got to our hotel, and the hotel had 20 floors on it, and we got to stay on the 20th floor, which I've never gotten to do that at a hotel. Let's stay on the top floor. And so that was really cool. And you could see, all of, downtown Los Angeles and the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So it was, a really great, view. Once we got to the set, we got picked up in a limo, and we got shuttled over to that, and the limo was awesome. I've never been in the limo before, and so that was a really cool experience.
Cool.
And then we got like a set tour, and then they were going to start filming, and so we got to watch an episode, like a set change, and then we got to watch a whole scene get filmed, and then Mark Harmon came out. He's like, "Oh my gosh, you won the Price is Right."
Come on.
Yes, I did, and you're talking to me. That's really cool.
Wow.
And so he was like, "Can I get you anything? You need any water?" So I was like, "Mark Harmon's asking to get me beverages." Wow.
Please tell me you asked him for milk.
Well, I was like, "Nope, I'm good. Thanks for asking, though." I was like, "I don't want to take him off, scene, out of character or something to go get me some milk."
That would have been amazing, though.
And they had canned Gatorade. I've never seen canned Gatorade before.
Well, they're NCIS.
So,
they're the number one rated show on television. They can do whatever they want. The rules don't apply to them.
Exactly. And like the night before we visited the set, we watched like a half an episode of NCIS, and that's like the only NCIS I had ever seen. And everyone that watched the episode was like, "You're so lucky. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous." I'm like, "I've never seen the show."
That is awesome. Was Mark the only person from the cast that you got to meet? That's the main guy. That's the marquee player.
Yep. And then I think the guy who plays like the computer whiz guy, McGee, maybe.
Sure.
He came over and he was talking to us. We talked to him for a little while since he wasn't in that scene, and then went and we ate lunch. And being from the Midwest, we don't really eat a lot of seafood, and it's not really good seafood when we do eat it.
Right.
And so most of the food was seafood. I was like, "Oh boy, fresh seafood." And so then I ate like some hibachi and some fish, I guess.
And so were you eating with the crew, with the cast and crew?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wait, they get fresh
and so that
fish?
was really cool.
They get sushi?
We get
Like it was some like
bagels.
California tilapia fish or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, again, number one rated show. We're the number one rated show in daytime. They're the number one rated show in prime time. And you can tell the
Therein
difference.
lies the difference.
We get all the cream cheese that we can eat before everyone eats it. And then it's gone. So, Nicole, that sounds like an amazing experience.
Yeah, it was just a whirlwind. It was definitely a highlight of my life that I'm going to tell my children and grandchildren. And just when I went home from South Dakota State University to watch it with my grandma and grandpa that I would watch the show with as a kid.
That's awesome.
And I didn't tell them that I was on the show or anything.
Come on. So they had no idea?
No idea. And so when they heard my name get called, I have never, that was something I'll always remember. My grandparents' faces were just awesome.
And what did they say when you won the showcase?
My grandpa just looked at me and said, "You lucky dog." That's all he had to say.
Oh, that's awesome. Nicole Jacks, thank you so much for being on the show all the way from South Dakota. You are such a delight. I'm so glad that that all worked out for you, paid for your education. You met Mark Harmon. You ate tilapia, and you're an amazing cow milker. It's a lot to digest with you. But congratulations. Thank you so much for being on. Have a great day.
Yep, you too.
She was awesome. I love her.
I love her. She's
oh, my
great.
gosh. I want to move to South Dakota.
I know. Doesn't it sound so enchanting?
It sounds a little hot and humid right now.
Yeah, the Midwest is humid in the summer.
You know what was refreshing is, I don't know how old she was. I'm assuming she's 20, 21, 22. She's so honest.
Yes, she was.
Do you know what I mean? She wasn't even trying to pretend that she knew who anyone was or that she had ever seen NCIS, and she wasn't being mean.
No, she
because if we said it, we're like, we don't watch NCIS, so I don't know who that is. I mean, that's how we would say it. Of course, we do watch everything on CBS. Bling, 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 bling. See, we don't even need the iPad for that. But no, that was so cool. Well, that's one of my favorite stories I think I've ever heard from a contestant.
I know, that was a good one.
Should we keep the mojo going?
Let's.
Should we keep it going and get Beth Trifanovich all the way from Ohio on the phone?
Another Midwestern call.
Let's get her on. Beth, are you there?
Yeah, hi. What's up?
Beth from Ohio, using a quieter voice. All right.
She sounds all relaxed.
That's because all I've been doing is sleeping.
Wow.
There's nothing to do. I know.
So do that and pick
I'm
acorns.
off.
How are you?
I'm really, really good. How are you?
Well, we miss you, but we're glad that you finally made it to Ohio because you had quite a run there where you came in. We did the last podcast. You had been hit in the head quite hard by a soccer ball, which I found amusing. But it turned out to be not that amusing. And you ended up having a concussion.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's sound effects.
You found a sound effects app, Beth. Help me.
Oh, my God. That's exactly the way it sounded when it happened, though, too. Is I seriously, inside my head, was like, holy shit. Uh-oh. I was really worried. But literally, we did the podcast last week, and I tried so hard to be, like, really chipper and up and, like,
Which you
positive.
were. You did an amazing job.
And then literally about 3 hours later, I went to the emergency room.
So you ended up not going to Ohio the next day, which is what your plan was, but you ended up getting there at some point because we're talking to you in Ohio, which is why you're not here today.
Yes, they told me I had to wait a couple of days, and so I didn't wind up leaving until like Saturday night, I think. So,
All right.
Yeah.
So you're there. You're enjoying yourself. I saw a picture of you and your mom working on your acorn business. But now I don't want to get everyone too excited, but it is time for the Beth Story Ever Told.
Yes.
Take it away, Beth.
Yes. Okay, cool. So I pretty much have been trying ever since I got on unemployment, trying to figure out how to get off of unemployment while still being like happy and fulfilled. And
by the way, that's all of us, Beth. All of us are trying to stay off unemployment, but still be happy and fulfilled. I am one of those happy and fulfilled people. And
okay,
so is
yeah,
Jen
so
Bisgrove.
whatever. I'm just,
right,
Jen
Bisgrove?
Yeah, 100%.
Hopefully all the people can connect to this story. And I started to be like, okay, what skills do I have that could make me happy and fulfilled? And like, I literally could not think of like anything that I could do except
you're amazing with acorns.
Necklaces.
Yeah, you're amazing.
Make acorn necklaces.
This is one of your latent abilities, is that you are like a savant with acorns.
Okay, so when I was on Peter Pan's national tour,
mm-hmm.
One of the things in the show, it's really cute, is Peter gives Wendy a kiss, but he doesn't know what a kiss is, so he gives her an acorn. And I just thought that was so cute. And Ohio's full of acorns, so my mom and I started picking up a bunch of acorns, taking off like the nut part of it or whatever, and putting like a bead on it. And so now they're little like acorn necklaces, and I've been giving them out the last couple months, just like to people as friends, like people who are friends.
I love mine.
Yeah.
I really love wearing mine.
You must have forgotten mine.
Yeah, we would not have ever gotten one of those. Yeah, so I guess, you know.
Like, would you really wear an acorn necklace if I gave it to you?
You're getting booed. And now I don't even have to do the booing. So now are you serious that you're going to try to make a business out of making acorn?
Dude, I've made 200 in the last month.
200?
Yeah.
The way you said that was like, dude. I've made $400,000 off of it, so go to my website, suckit.com. So you've made $200.
No, I made 200 necklaces.
Oh, how much money have you made? Sorry, I thought you meant 200.
Well, no, I haven't started selling them yet. I'm just making them.
Where are you going to sell them?
To squirrels.
Okay. Well, I'm starting a Facebook page, and it's going to be, my company is called In a Nutshell. Okay? How cute is that? It's really cute.
That's cute.
And then I'm going to start going to the Fairfax trading post. So do you guys know what that is? It's like this really cute flea market.
Oh my god, I go there every Sunday, and I'm there with all my hipster friends on Fairfax. Is it on La Cienega? Where?
Fairfax and Melrose.
It's pretty much everything
Melrose.
that
Yeah, I was
Mike
close.
would hate.
It's pretty much. I would hate every part of it. What
it's
is
like
it
a bunch
exactly?
Of old junk.
Oh yeah, I love junk. Like other people's old stuff is what I want.
Yeah, that's what it is. But I'm going to sell the acorns. But the funniest thing is so I was kind of a little like, God, this is embarrassing that I'm just like now starting like this random jewelry business.
I don't think making acorn jewelry is that random, Beth. Not when you say it out loud, and not when you talk to squirrels.
But the thing that's so cool about it is I've like given them to like all my friends.
Not
and
all of
they
your
love
friends,
them.
Beth. Not all of your friends you haven't given them to. All of your friends.
Okay, but
But
I'm
you know what this
telling
means,
you, I
Bisgrove?
have-
We're not in. Beth has made 200, which means we are not in the top 200 of her friends.
I'll send you guys some. Hey,
No.
if anyone wants anyone, even if they listen to the podcast, I will send them a free acorn necklace. I will.
I would love
Part
if
of
you
my
got. And then,
marketing-
you know what you
my
should do?
marketing
We should do an
plan.
Indiegogo campaign with your acorn jewelry business.
We really should. We really should. But the funny thing is that all of my like actor friends and roommates now kind of want to get in on this business. Like, I haven't asked anyone for help. And literally in the last 2 weeks, my one roommate's like, oh, let me help you buy the supplies, and then maybe I could get a cut. And then my other roommate's like, I do paintings on the side, so maybe we could open up like a painting and acorn business. And then this girl that lives down the street was like, well, I have a ton of baked goods, and I would love to make cookies along
Beth, are
that
you
go along
drunk?
with your acorn.
Beth, are you drunk right now?
No. No. No, I'm not. I just
This
think it's
sounds.
really funny
You
that everyone-
recognize that this sounds insane, right?
I'm telling you, this does sound insane, but I can't tell you how many people want to be a part of my acorn empire.
By the way, that should have been the name of your company.
Acorn empire.
Let's make T-shirts.
So this
So
is
anyway,
the,
one
this
of the
is
things
the
that
plan.
my mom and I are doing right now is it's acorn harvest season, and they're all falling from the trees. So we just go out every night and take walks and come back with like our coats like full of acorns, like squirrels. So anyway,
Oh, Beth. Well, there you go. There it was.
Yeah.
That's the Beth story ever told, everybody. I loved it, Beth. When are you
good.
coming? Are you going to be back for next week's show or not?
yes, I am.
Well, there she is. Beth, we missed you on the show today, but it was good to get the acorn story in. That's the hardest I've laughed all day. So
I
that was
missed you
fantastic.
guys. I was waiting for you to call me, and I was wondering, like, oh, what are they talking about without me?
And we're
But-
really, really glad that you're feeling better in all seriousness. Although I do
Thank
think
you.
that possibly the blow to the head has in some way rattled something loose to do with acorns. I think that that's
know.
possible.
It's pretty bad.
All right, well, that's it for the random show for today. Jen Bisgrove, nice work. Beth Triffin, nice work. Nicole Jacks,
Thank
a
you.
fantastic story. That was random.